morning. So guys, welcome to tonight's little Meet the New Print Shares. But before we meet the new print shares, I'd like to give a big thank you to Julie and Christina for all their years of service, putting this print competition stuff on. I mean, from Christina's been doing this for what, 13 years, Christina? 10 years?
So I started looking back at it. I've actually been on the print committee since 2003.
17
Wow.
years.
Wow.
Yes, but
Wow.
I've been the print chair for 11 years, and then before that I was like the assistant print chair, and etc.
Well, I thank you for your service and everything
Thank you,
you've done.
Christina.
Yep.
Thank you.
And to Julie, Kim, thank you for your service as well. I know you guys
Yes.
worked hard to get us to this point where we're now digital, and it's interesting to see. If you guys could please mute yourselves if you're not talking. And so Christina and Julie, thank you so very much. I do appreciate the time that you guys have put into this. And I know that you've got a lot of knowledge to share with anybody who needs print competition insights. So thank you guys so much. So with that, I want to introduce Ellen Zengla and Lydia Miller, who will be taking over the print competition committee. And you guys can give us your presentation.
All right, so I'm gonna share. There we go. All right, can you guys see this?
Yep.
All right, so Christina, I think, is gonna lead off with the first couple of slides, and then I'll take over after that. So Christina, did you want to start?
Yes, so just a thank you to everybody who has ever helped me in this position. I really, 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 really appreciate it. I cannot tell you how much this has really meant to me. Obviously, I enjoyed it because that's why I've done it for so long, but every good thing must come to an end. But I've barely enjoyed seeing Maryland PPA members grow from people starting out, or people that are just figuring things out of how to do things, and then they learn and they grow, and then they experience things through print competition, and they grow as photographers. So it's really very exciting for me to see that. And it's kind of almost like you guys are like my kids. And then, I get so proud, like, Biederman got his photograph, the master photography. And then, we had people get their master artist. We had so many people. I know, Chris, you've been working hard on yours and doing great. It's so exciting to see the growth in these people that I've seen over the years. So that's pretty much why I did it. And it's a little sad stepping down, but I know that you're going to be in good hands with Lydia and Ellen. And Julie and I are not going anywhere. We're still here. So if you have any questions for us, please, we'll be here to help Ellen and Lydia as they go forward. So we have made some changes, and we're going to be talking about that, or Ellen will be telling you about that a little bit. But so really just, I wanted to thank everybody, to anybody that's helped me, because I can't do this by myself. This is a very large committee and a very big part. I mean, if you look at it, we have 4 competitions a year. So that's 25% of our programming is print competition. So we don't take it lightly, and we know that it's very important to everybody. So it's very, it's been very humbling and a very, very good experience for me to be the print chair. So I am a little sad stepping down, but I'm going to pass it off to Julie so she can say a few words.
Christina, you said all the best words already.
I'm sorry, hon.
I don't know how I could. I mean, as you were talking, I have the same thoughts and feelings of watching people grow and seeing them improve and get their masters. Ellen got her masters. I mean, there's just so many people, and it's been very rewarding. We've learned so much. We've grown ourselves. Going through the process of switching to digital, and it's just been challenging, and it's been fun. And I mean, there's no way we could do it without everybody helping. Sorry, I'm tearing up. But thank you all. from the bottom of my heart for all your help.
Well, I think both of you have done a phenomenal job, and Lydia and I definitely have big shoes to fill, but I feel like Maryland is such a strong association, and we have so many members who enter print competition, and we generally have a lot of entries. So it's exciting. And Julie and Christina, thank you for, like Danny said, thank you for all the hard work that you've done and for helping to teach Lydia and I the ropes and transition. And hopefully we will continue on with what you've done and just continue to make things better. It's just everything should get better all the time, right? It's like when you think about how we start off as photographers, you don't want to be where you were 5 years ago. And so a lot of the changes that we're going to be talking about tonight are just things that we think will just improve the quality of our print competitions. So,
and one more thing to add. Thank you, ladies, but Julie is going to continue to get us some wonderful judges moving forward. And so you're not completely off the hook yet, Misty, but thank you both for an amazing program. And we've got some big shoes to fill, guys.
I love the judges, working with them, so I still enjoy that. So
thank you. We're looking forward to all the wonderful new opportunities that are going to be coming in the next few years to come. So
yeah,
thank you for that.
I know you and Lydia, you and Ellen are going to do a fantastic job. And, you know, to echo what Ellen said, I mean, that's what Christina and I have been doing, you know, throughout the years, is continuing to grow. And, you know, how can we make this program better? What can we do better, faster, easier?
Yep.
You know, how can we help our members? So we want to continue that. So, you know, everybody.
We will do our best to make you guys proud. How's that?
all right.
So,
all right, Ellen, take it away.
All right. So we kind of already started off with explaining this, right? But we've talked, so this has been a conversation, Julie and Christina, Lydia and I, we've talked to the board, we've talked to other affiliates, we've gotten feedback from the board, we've gotten feedback from members. So that's why we're making changes. And I feel like, you know, changes happen every year. But the information that we heard from people within our organization, outside of our organization, you know, gave us some ideas for, I'm sorry if you hear a little bit of whining, one of my dogs is in here. I think she wants my dinner, which is sitting right next to me. So I apologize. But anyway, so the changes we feel like are just going to continue to improve the quality of our print competitions. Hang on, 8 changes, sorry. Okay, here we go. So I think if you don't already know this, the convention is moving from January to April, or maybe February to April. I can't remember when it was last year, but so the annual convention is moving, so therefore the annual print competition will move along with that. And I think the board decided to move the annual convention because it's so close to imaging, which obviously makes a lot of sense. So we're still going to have 4 print competitions a year, but the quarterlies will be January, July, and October, with the annual print competition being April instead. So no real changes there except for a date change. The annual awards, therefore, will then be given out in April based on the print competitions from the previous year. So, so this year, the awards that, does somebody have can somebody turn their volume off, or their, thank you, mute themselves, thank you. So this year, the awards will be given out in April of 2021, and they're based on the April, July, and October 2020 quarterly print competitions. Next year, so the following year, April 2022, the awards will be based on the print competitions from that year previous. So it'll always be January, July, October, and then the awards, you know, the photographer of the awards will be given out at the April convention. So nothing again changes there except for dates. Exciting news. I think this is exciting. You are now going to be able to enter a maximum of 15 entries in a competition, including the annual, so that whereas that used to be limited to, you know, a case of 4 plus a Maryland entry, or in the quarterlies it was 10 with a maximum number of 5. You can now enter up to 15 with a maximum number of 8 entries in a category per competition. So that's exciting for those people who shoot a lot and have a lot of amazing images or images that they want to test. We feel like this also will enable people to have a lot of images that they can kind of try out, as it were, for districts and for IPC. The other thing, kind of because now we are allowing so many more entries, we have tweaked and improved the current point system. So instead of it being based on kind of total number of points, we're going to a highest average. So not for this year that has already basically taken place, but kind of moving forward, starting with the January 20, sorry, I have to think of my dates, with the January 2021 competition, that's going to impact, so the January, the July, and the October of 2021, so the awards given out in the Photographer of the Year awards given out in April of 2022 will kind of be based on this system. And again, this is based on the discussions with the 4 of us, feedback from members, talking to other affiliates, and talking to the board. And so what this does is it really is kind of looking at merit images rather than just kind of the quantity of images. And because we're allowing so many more images, we felt like this was a more effective and efficient way to award our members. And so the way that's going to work is for a category. So for example, illustrative, the average score will be based on the entrant's top 6 scores in that category. So in any category over the course of a year, you can enter up to 24 images in that category, and your top 6 will be averaged within that category to determine who the category winners are. To win the overall Photographer of the Year, otherwise known as POTY, sorry, first time I saw that, okay, anyway, no one cares. Anyway, to win overall Photographer of the Year, you have to enter and merit at least 2 images in at least 3 categories. So, and I gave an example below, and the top 10 scoring images from 3 or more categories will be averaged, but it's a minimum of 2 scores per category. So for example, you could have 2 commercial, 2 portrait, and 6 illustrative. And then your average score must be 80 or higher, which it has to be because merits are 80 or higher. So that's kind of a big change there. And those are the changes. So the real changes are kind of the change in the date for when the annual competition is and the way that the annual awards are given out. So I think we just have 2 more slides. Oh no, 1 more slide. And again, we'll continue to look at things, evaluate them, hopefully continue to improve our print competition, based on what we hear from you, based on, how we see participation in our print comps continue, surveys, which we have sent out before, and, hopefully improving scores and merits for our entrants. So are there any questions that we can answer?
Chris just asked if we're adding restoration as a category. As of right now, we're not. We're going to leave it the way it is currently. But it is something maybe we can look at in the future, Chris.
Did restoration get added at IPC? Since I don't do it, so I don't know. Is that a terrible thing?
It's been its own category for 2 years.
So it's separate, right? It's like commercial, but then it's restoration or something.
It's artist restoration.
Got it. Okay.
Chris, the reason why we have not moved it into in its own category is because of the fact that you're the only one who pretty much enters. So in order for us to add
Carol
it,
does.
Carol does, but
Yeah.
we need to see larger numbers, and hopefully we can get to that point. Maybe a class would help get us up there, Chris. You know, get people more excited about doing restoration images, and maybe learning a little bit more, or, you know, board, if you're listening, that might be a class that would excite more members to enter. So we would like to see the numbers and the number of entrants, number of images and number of entrants increase a little bit more before we can make it its own category. But yes, it's definitely something on the radar that we would like to look at.
And I should mention too, that is a good question, Chris, because it's kind of like a subcategory of the artist category. So that's something that Ellen and Lydia can talk about, possibly adding at least to the annual competition, as like we have all those different awards. So maybe something like that, like the best restoration would be a good type of thing. But that would be something they'd have to look into.
For sure, that is a good idea.
Are there, and I'm taking notes, not that, but yeah. So are there other questions?
Yes.
And
Joe just asked, how will the sweepstake award be tabulated?
So the sweepstake award will be tabulated the way it's always tabulated, which is high averages, or high average, I should say. And that's the sweepstake award is, correct me if I'm wrong, Lydia, but that's that's the annual
model
convention, right?
Right.
Yes, top 4.
Okay.
That's correct.
So, okay, so yeah, so it'd be top 4 from the annual convention. And you're free, obviously, you can reach out to me or Lydia at any time if you have any additional questions, or if there are questions that come up after tonight.
Does anybody have any questions that you guys can unmute yourself and ask us?
Ellen, your emails are on the next slide.
There we go. So is this going once, going twice, and sold?
They're speechless.
I love it.
Oh.
I think they're excited.
How do you guys feel about these changes? No comment? Okay.
I think it just,
Bruce says
I was
fine.
trying to be unmuted. This is Samantha. When you explained it to me the other day, I thought that was brilliant. Like just the number coming up with the average and stuff. I think it's going to work out really well.
Thank
Okay.
you. We worked really hard
We
on
think
that.
so too.
Yeah, I can imagine.
What will Joe Campanelli has a question. What will the per print cost be to enter? We have not changed any of the pricing, so we're going to keep all of that the same.
$10 per image.
$10 per image. Thank you,
which
Christina.
is great because what was the case fee for annual?
It was 95 for 4.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's a discount now.
Yeah.
You can enter more.
Yes.
More
Yes.
for the same. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for looking at those, Lydia. I'm
No worries.
worried that if I go back to Zoom and start looking at questions, I'll somehow manage to lose the presentation.
This is very new to me. I'm excited to start entering some images from Sally. Yes, Sally, we would love to see your images. And if you need help being new to the process, if you need help, please feel free to reach out to either Ellen or myself, and we can guide you through it. It is very easy. And yeah, we want to see your images. We want to see you guys succeed. All the success stories that we've talked about earlier, we want to see the rest of you get there and get your master's and artist degrees, and as well as any Maryland awards that we do offer as well for print competition and service.
So I have a question for you
Let's see,
guys.
hold on, Michael. Yes, how to enter. Go ahead, Danny.
So I know we haven't met physically in person in a long time. When we reconvene as we can at our annual, will you still offer physical prints and digital prints, or is that all going to go away and just be all digital?
We have not talked about any changes when we reconvene in person about physical or digital prints. So as of right now, it will remain the same. Unless if the numbers in the physical prints drop, which I think last year they did a little bit. Am I correct, Christina?
Yeah,
They dropped
That's correct. It was about 21% the year before, and last year was about 13% of the images were physical.
Right. So if we continue to see a decline in the physical prints, then we would look at that. But as of right now, we have not made those changes. Let's see, Michael Wine, you have a question. Usually we have a how to enter presentation at the beginning of the year. Yes, we're going to put together something. The how to enter process has not changed from previous years. It's just the number of entries that have. So, but we will, Ellen and I will discuss it a little bit closer to January. And if we need to tweak that presentation, we will definitely do that for you. But
And I don't, yeah, and I don't have the, I don't have my calendar up right in front of me, but the first print competition will be that fourth Wednesday in January. And we'll get an email out either kind of at the end of December or at the beginning of January. But you can pretty much count, unless you hear from us otherwise. And if it is a slight change, it'll only be like a day or two different. I think our last print competition was either on a Tuesday or a Thursday. I can't remember, but they're pretty much always the final week of the month on the Wednesday. And it is January, July, and October. And maybe it might be slightly different in October because of Fall Fest. So, but it will be like right around that. And we'll always give you enough notice to know.
so Danny, I have a question for the board. As of right now, you guys have committed the annual convention to be online. Is that correct?
Yes.
So we don't have any date when we might be going back to in person, do we?
Not at this time.
Not at this time. Okay, so for till we hear further word from the board, we are going to continue to have online competitions. And we want to thank Bruce for doing an amazing job streaming that for you guys so that we can have audio and have a live presentation for you to follow through.
And I should mention that Ellen and Lydia are looking for help for their print committee. If anybody's interested, please contact them.
Oh, they're going to be quiet on this one, I bet.
Nah, everybody's going to want to work with you guys.
Now's not the time to be quiet.
That's right.
You'll learn a lot. You'll learn more than you think you will. And
Yes,
you'll get to know some amazing people. So
absolutely.
volunteer.
Thank you, George and Jane, for your good wishes. We're going to need all the love and support we can get from everybody.
Well, I think it's going to be great. I'll tell you, I think it's a funny story, but I remember when I first joined MDppa, I had taken a Super One Day with Mike Busada and had not been a member. I think I was a PPA member, but didn't know about MDppa, and he had told me about it. So I joined and, very quickly, decided that I should enter print competition. And because, people just talk about it. So I was like excited to do it. And nervous, but excited. And I had nightmares the night before because I had never watched one before. I dreamt that I scored a 17 in my images. And so, yeah, no idea what to expect. And I think I got 78s, which are a lot better than 17s, that's for sure. But it's fun. It's been fun to do it. It's been, it's been fun to be a part of it. I love Lydia. I'm looking forward to working with her. And, we really do have a tremendous organization. And so it's gonna be great that we can continue to offer print competitions to our members and hopefully help everybody achieve their goals, whether it's getting better, whether it's getting a master's degree or whatever that is.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot because I remember when you started entering and you would be like, Lydia, I don't get it. Lydia, I don't get it. And I said, just keep going, keep trying, keep working at it, and you will get it. And I just want to let you guys know that Ellen is very determined and she's very good at staying dedicated to whatever task she puts her mind to it. And she is very successful as a pet photographer. And just watching her grow through the years that I've known her, it is really amazing. And I truly feel that print competition had a lot to do with it because she kept honing her skill and educating herself and doing better. And she's really pushing herself to do better than the previous competition and the previous photo shoot. And that's what print competition does to a lot of us that do compete. I know Joe and Mary Jean have been competing for 29 years or been working with the print committee for 29 years. And, you know, I remember when I first started, I don't know if you remember this, Joe, but I said one day I would like to beat Joe. And
No,
that
you
was
don't.
kind of my, well, I won't, I will never beat Joe, but that was my personal goal. I looked at somebody who was well performing and my goal was, you know, I want to aspire to get to that. And you work at it, and you know, you may or may never get to be better than somebody you respect, but it's okay because you're constantly improving. And I feel that print competition does that to a lot of us, where it gives us, it's kind of like swimming in a way. You're constantly beating your score, you're constantly beating your best averages. So, you know, don't look at it as a competition with other people, look at it as a competition with yourself, and how can you always do better. So we're excited to see a whole new group of competitors and to work with you guys. And we want to be there to support you. So let us know how we can help you, what classes we can offer. We can work with the board. We can work with other artists and photographers that can give you the feedback and the help that you need. So please let us know. Keep those lines of communications open. We want to hear from you, and we want to be there to support you.
I have a
And-
funny story.
Oh gosh, here we go. Go for it.
So Joe and Mary Jean are legendary in Maryland PPA, and I'm of course now down in Florida and throughout
Oh, I don't know about legendary. Maybe just
Oh,
old.
yeah. No, legendary. And so in my family, Joe, everybody knows my husband and my two kids, they know that Joe Campanelli does amazing work. So we're on vacation and we're like taking pictures in Italy or Germany or whatever. And my husband would get like a really good shot of me and he's so excited. He's like, do you think it's a Campanelli? And I'm like,
Was there a bird
well,
in it?
I said, I don't know. I think you got a 79 on that. He's like, oh, come on. This is a good one. I think Campanelli would do well on this one. It's just too funny. So you're like a noun,
That's funny.
like you're a Campanelli in our house. So that's, so my kids and everything, they all know who you are and they all know that it's really good to be a Campanelli. So that's what everybody should try to be like Joe.
Yeah, we snuck across the border in Florida and tried to keep under the wire down here.
And they're still keeping you there. So that must be okay.
I guess they haven't thrown us out yet. I like it because basically I can photograph pretty much what I like to do pretty much 12 months out of the year here.
So does anybody have any other comments or questions?
Chris would like you to come out of screen share so we could see our faces better.
All right, hang on. Stop share. All right, there we go.
All right, here we go.
This is wait, can you guys see Aeneas? Say hi, Aeneas.
I'm sorry, I'm not on screen. I did not come prepared to be on screen, so, but I love you all from a distance. Any questions? Any comments? Anybody want to share anything about print competition? Any words of encouragement for our new members? We would love to hear from
Well,
you.
just what you all have been saying. It is the best path you can get on. And
Yes.
especially if you apply yourself to it and just sort of make it part of your lifestyle, you will see the growth. and you will love it.
And it is nice when, like for me personally, I haven't competed in a while, but one day I'll get back. But personally, when my clients come in and see all the trophies, it does put value behind you as a photographer, as an artist. And it kind of, without having to speak, it's a visual display, and they kind of look at it and start, looking at the dates and what you've earned, and it just speaks volumes for you as a photographer and as somebody who's going to take their money. So it kind of validates you. So if that's something that motivates you, then go for it. Trophies are always nice. People love the trophies, and we love to
Well,
give them to you guys.
Clients love what competition really is, that it's
Absolutely.
not competing against people, it's competing against a standard, and
Correct.
and trying to learn to see in ways you couldn't see before. They really appreciate that if you participate in competition, you're committed to continuing to get better by opening yourself up to others more expert.
And we have been wonderful to have support from the board to bring artists and photographers that are amazing to educate us. I mean, I look at Sandra Pierce's class, and my gosh, the amount of knowledge that we got just from that 2-day class that she had is amazing to propel us to the next level and adding painting into our photography and work. So, that's what I was saying earlier. We would love to hear how we can enrich you guys so that we can work with the board and the committee so that we can bring you the education that you need to get you to the next level.
I want to thank all 4 of you for all the work you've done in this important transition. That is a hard thing, to leave something, Christina and Julie, but you were ready, and it's a hard thing to take on something, as you said, big shoes to fill. And I just think it's been wonderful to watch all 4 of you work together to really just put your heads together and bring out the best of what this means to our association. And I think you all embody everything that you're saying about how much you support and want good things for all of our members in this part of our programming. And I just appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, board members,
Yes,
for
thank
your
you, board.
support to make this happen, and work with us on the change to the. Sorry, go on. Somebody else can talk.
Yeah, no, I think it's been. I mean, I feel like we've said it right. It really has been a team effort, and when I say team effort, I don't mean Christina, Julie, Lydia, and me, but talking to members of the board, getting feedback from membership, talking to people and other affiliates, right? We don't operate in a vacuum. And so the fact that we have so many talented and thoughtful members and other people in other organizations that we can reach out to, like the goal, like with our photography, is to make everything better. The goal with print competition is to make it better. So it's been, it's not like, the 4 of us sat in a room and said, oh, what can we do to make things better? I mean, we listen to people, we talk to people, and Lydia and I will be doing this again next year, is evaluating where we are and seeing how, if there are other changes that we need to make. I mean, Chris, if you can maybe teach a class on restoration and get a lot more people to enter restoration images, then I bet we can do that as a category.
I have offered, and I've done it in a number of other states, so would not mind doing it here.
Right. Well,
Danny, are you listening?
No.
He knows. He knows.
I know. Yeah, and that's honestly in the past how we've revived categories is focusing on education, because we find that a lot of times people don't compete in certain categories because they don't know. That's how we revived the commercial category years ago. I don't know if you remember at the time. And I remember being on the board, and I was advocating for more commercial classes. And we started seeing immediately, like we did 2 or 3, classes, and we started seeing immediately more interest in that area. So, if there's something you guys need us to do, just let us know, and educating on them is really the way to get people excited about them. And that's how we can grow this competition and the categories.
Guys, I should mention too that Ellen and Lydia will be updating the print competition rules to include the new things we've talked about tonight and just minor tweaks that we always have to put in there. And so that will go out hopefully by the beginning of January so that everybody can see that. They will put it out online through Anne. She's been great about getting our stuff out online. And then hopefully have that class at the beginning of January. And Bruce made a mention it would be great to have it video or to have it recorded so that they could actually, we could put it on our YouTube channel, and that way people could watch it anytime during the year. If, you know, Michael
I agree with that.
go look at it, go back and look at it, he can go and look at it any time of the year. He doesn't have to wait till January when they have a class.
Totally agree with that.
Yep, we will work on it.
I also want to remind people that your merit and degree form is, you now have the opportunity to fill that out. Christina and Julie got that together, and that just was sent out in an email. This is where you put all of your accomplishments in education, print comp, and all of that in a survey format. So Christina and Julie can calculate it, and you can get points towards your degrees. And maybe Christina, you would be better to say something about this right now rather than me.
So for those of you that are a little bit newer or who aren't familiar with our degrees, we do have two different degrees. One is the fellow degree and the other one is the associate fellow degree. So one, the fellow is more prints. It's more about your print competition points. And the other one is more about education and service. So any kind of service to like the board or to any committees and that type of thing. So that's really very important to Maryland PPA. And so therefore we give awards for that. So I know we don't see each other much anymore, but if you ever see the little dingle dangles, people wear like the necklaces, and if you ever see Campanelli, he's got his go all the way up and like choke him on his neck. I always remember that when I first saw him. I'm like, whoa, look at that guy.
You just gave me neck problems.
I know, you probably, you know, carrying all that weight around and everything, it was probably hard on you. But anyway, so if you want some information about that, if you go onto the Maryland PPA website, and over on the far right side, there's the three little dash lines. Click on that, and then go down to where it says for members, and then another thing will pop up and it will say merits and degrees. So out there I have listed what is included in those degrees and some examples of the types of things that we can do for that. So if you have any questions, please contact me, let me know, and we'll be looking for your responses to your merits and degrees form, and just let me know if you have any questions.
And I just want to, sorry, I've got Aeneas in my lap, so he's gonna, I just want to add one thing, because Sam and I spoke last week, I think, about this, or 2 weeks ago. I just want to clarify that, and I realize that some people, a lot of people probably already aware of this, but this is, the MDppa degrees and awards are different from IPC, the PPA awards. So you can have dingle dangle from MDppa as well as PPA.
Awesome.
Thank you, Ellen. Yes, that is important to know that there are two different things. So as far as PPA and Maryland PPA, those are two separate award systems.
Any other questions for our print committee? You guys are real quiet.
You asked them to mute themselves, Danny.
It's not the time to be muted.
We appreciate all the love that we've been getting from you guys all night and the little messages. Ellen and I are really excited to work for you and on your behalf, and we're really excited.
That's awesome. Well,
All I can say.
If there's no other questions, let's close this thing out so we can all go about our day or
Thank
night.
you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, new print chairs, and
Welcome.
thank you, Christina and Julie, for all you guys have
Thank
done
you.
for us.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank you,
very much.
Christina and Julie.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week at the holiday party.
Yeah.